Hello, Pickles and Hairspray group. It is Sunday, March 4th. Joe coming at you with another video. It's been a few days, partly because I wasn't quite sure what to make it on. So a thread came up yesterday that's getting a lot of responses. And it's the one about modesty standards. It was a great question. I don't know who asked it, but they just asked all of us users. And sorry, this thing might be bouncing a little bit, so bear with me if it's a shaky video camera today. I'm on the couch. Somebody asked the question, how do you have your own modesty standards? And almost everybody that replied said yes, they do. And I didn't realize this, but I guess a ton of people on this channel or on this Facebook group are Christian and do it for Christian reasons. I had no idea. I thought we were all snarkers. So I guess you can be a Christian and a snarker. I'm an atheist and a snarker. And a lot of people did it. They were Jews or Muslims even. And a lot of people did it because they were self-conscious about their weight. So I just wanted to touch on that topic today because that's something I feel pretty strongly about. I feel strongly about everything. What else is new? If it's feminist, I have an opinion on it. So the first thing I want to say is one of my fascinations in life, and one of the ways that I spend a lot of time on YouTube is watching videos from Muslim converts, women who have converted to Islam, typically North American. One of the biggest names would be Nye Armstrong, N-Y-E Armstrong. She was from rural Pennsylvania or Connecticut. I think she was living in Connecticut at the time. And now she lives in Texas. And she vlogs regularly about living in hijab. And so, it's led me to various other videos and researching it extensively. And I've come to learn a lot of the lingo, so I will share it with you. When you ask a Muslim woman why she wears hijab, almost all of them will say it's their choice. Their dad didn't make them do it. Their husband didn't make them do it. They chose to do it. And almost all, white North American women, people would say, oh, she's forced. She thinks it's her choice, but it's not. And I've always thought in the back of my head, knowing what I know about choice and having been raised in a cult and thinking that you're making your own choices when really they're just cult-like decisions that you have no other choice. I was thinking to myself, all the women who wear makeup and call it, because I don't wear makeup and I've never worn makeup, and all the women who would wear makeup and call it a choice and say, well, I choose to wear it because I think I look better with it. To which I say, well, why don't you just choose not to one day? Like one day, just choose not to. But for a lot of people, it's not a choice. They must wear it every day. They feel naked without it. And the other explanation that I've said with regards to hijab, and hijab, by the way, is the scarf that a Muslim woman wears to cover this. Niqab leaves just the eyes open, and burqa covers everything. It's just like a mesh. So niqab, and women who wear hijab are called hijabis. Women who wear niqab are called niqabis. And I don't know about burqa, but I do know that women who are Muslim often refer to themselves as muslima. So this is, by the way, very, very, very sexist, or a gender differentiated culture, religion, where yes, everything has a name. The women prefer to associate with one another and go by, associate with other Muslimas. Part of that religion is you're not allowed to touch, or depending on the branch that you belong to, you cannot touch other men, which is why some niqabis will wear gloves. You cannot touch men at all. So where was I going with this? About why would you not want to show one hair on your head? So hijab, oh shoot, I wish I just had a scarf here. Damn it, sometimes I do. Because I can do pretty good hijab. Not a single hair on your head would show except for your eyebrows. And that would indicate, I remember somebody saying, well, that's just weird. And I had said, well, when you're wearing a bathing suit, would you ever let one rogue pube poke out? What's a few hairs amongst friends? And they're like, no. And I said, well, it's the same idea, like pubic hair, hair on your head. If you're the type of person whose modesty standard means you don't want your hair to show, then that's what your modesty standard means. And if that means on a bikini line or on your head, then that's what that means. With regards to the modesty standards that came up in the Pickles and Hairspray question, I was surprised at how many people think yoga pants and tight pants are immodest. And by the way, I have my own modesty standards. I actually did participate in that conversation. I wear sleeves all the time. I very seldom show my armpits, partly because I don't shave. I have large tattoos. So I just think in the workplace might be a little inappropriate. And I don't own a lot of sleeveless outfits. And I don't know, being a radical feminist, you would think I wouldn't give a shit what people think about my pits. And generally I don't. But I just have to say I'm more comfortable with sleeves, that when I'm wearing sleeveless items, I am a little more uncomfortable. And I get that. And I get that people have a right to wear what makes them comfortable. wearing tight clothing, since I gained a lot of weight, I think I posted a picture of myself in a bathing suit with hairy armpits. Go check it out if you want to see it. It's hilarious. When I was 21, I was skinny, and, wearing a bathing suit like that obviously didn't make me feel uncomfortable. I'm probably 100 pounds heavier than I was in that photo. Might be a little less inclined to wear something like that. So, a lot of people have self-confidence issues as it pertains to weight. And I wish I had some words of wisdom, and I wish I could say, love yourself anyway, and fat is not bad. And if there's one thing I hate, it's that expression. Well, nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see a fat woman in a tight outfit. And I was like, well, I don't wear clothes to show the world my body. I wear clothes to be comfortable. I mean, I don't give a shit what other people think. However, yeah, sometimes you don't want to draw attention to yourself. I guess that therein lies the thing. And how you define drawing attention to yourself is a personal issue. Like, I don't always feel like just because I'm wearing clothes that other people might feel uncomfortable wearing that I'm drawing attention to myself. I just assume, like, they have their heads on a swivel, they can look the other way. I know with the Duggars, a lot of what they talked about in the early episodes when they wore the weird prairie dresses with the big collars, it was something in the Bible called countenance. And you had to draw attention to your countenance, which was to your face, and away from all other parts of your body, because all other parts of your body are, sinful for men to look at, titillating or whatever. And that drove me bonkers. Those first early episodes, the 14 Kids and Counting and on, when they were wearing the prairie dresses, I remember being horrified by the rule. And of course, the rules only apply to girls and women or female-bodied individuals. And it reminded me, because I grew up in the Catholic system, and in Ontario here we have Catholic schools are free. So you go to Catholic school or public, you take your pick, and it's all paid for by the government. So I went to Catholic school for 2 of my 4 years of high school, and I had to wear a uniform, and that uniform was a kilt, like a skirt. And you could wear pants, and actually the day that I learned that in grade 10, that's the day I started wearing pants. I didn't realize I had a choice. As soon as I knew I had a choice, I chose pants. But a lot of schools, now I work in the public education system, and a lot of schools have dress codes that really are distinctly for girls only, female-bodied people only. It has to do with midriffs and usually shoulders. It has to do with spaghetti straps and midriffs usually, or sometimes cleavage, not really in the public system, or sometimes butt crack. The only thing for boys would be maybe offensive t-shirts, but that's true for girls too, like t-shirts with rude writing on them or swear words. And the other one would be maybe baseball caps. Some schools have rules where people are not allowed to wear baseball caps because it's actually an easy way for them to indicate who doesn't belong in the school. Because if a drug dealer's in a school, chances are pretty good he's wearing a baseball cap, so that the kids who go there don't wear them. But with regards to policing women's bodies, that's something that gets on my last nerve. And I have to be honest, I have issues with skin. I don't like people showing a lot of skin. Personally, it's an aesthetic I don't care for. I acknowledge that a lot of it has to do with my childhood upbringing, my brainwashing, societal brainwashing, to equate certain types of looks with slut, the word slut, even though I don't believe in the word slut. There is some weird vestigial remnant of the fact that I think, like my boss wears, the boss's boss, the big wig at work, she wears a lot of skin, like sleeveless stuff, like Michelle Obama, sleeveless stuff. I think there was one that had a cutout showing like a triangle of her back, and I was like, why are you showing your back at work? That's just weird to me. A man would never do that. That's a fact. Men don't show skin the way women do. And so it ends up being a feminist issue. I'm going to see if I can get a link. There was a woman who posted, it was school regulations that were non-sexist, explaining how when you police a woman's body, especially a teenage girl's body, and tell her what she is and is not allowed to wear because it may or may not titillate a boy, you've really crossed the line. And I am so philosophically, I agree with that philosophically, and yet I can only acknowledge that I have certain brainwashing in me that makes me cringe when I see skimpy women in skimpy outfits in certain situations, which I might deem to be appropriate. Like, I'll never understand why every single bride has to have a sleeve, like a tube top, whatever they call it, a sleeveless, strapless gown. The Duggars, not too much. The Duggars don't do it, obviously. But, just in your life and in your world, I'm sure you know most of your friends who got married wore a tube top gown. And I just think, why? What, really? Whether they were fat, skinny, tattooed, old, young, it seems to just be a look that every bride wants for herself. And I don't get it, personally. But just because I don't get it doesn't mean I have a right to judge it. I think that might be it for this video. We will catch up soon. If you have any ideas for more subjects, let me know.